A Bohemian is a resident of Bohemia, a region of the Czech Republic or the former Kingdom of Bohemia, a region of the former Crown of Bohemia. In a wider sense it refers to residents of the Czech lands or today's Czech Republic in general. In English, the word Bohemian was used to denote the Czech people as well as the Czech language before the word Czech became prevalent in the early 20th century. In a separate meaning derived from the French word referring to gypsies, or Romany people, Bohemian may also denote a socially unconventional person, especially one who is involved in the arts. Etymology: the name Bohemia derives from the name of the Boiers, a Celtic tribe who inhabited that area towards the later Latin period. The toponym Bohemum, first attested by Tacitus, is commonly taken to mean home of the Boier. The word Bohemian has never been widely used by the local Czech population. In Czech, the region since the early Middle Ages has been called Seči, but also, especially during the period of Restoration, emancipation of the Czech language and nation, as Seči. Another term, stressing the importance of the state-nation, is Království in Czech, or Böhmen in German. Its mainly Czech-speaking inhabitants were called Čechové. In most other Western European vernaculars and in Latin, the word Bohemian or a derivate was used. If the Czech ethnic origin was to be stressed, combinations such as Bohemian, a Bohemian language, a real Bohemian, etc., were used. It was not until the 19th century that other European languages began to use words related to Czechs, in a deliberate attempt to distinguish between ethnic Slavic-speaking Bohemians and other inhabitants of Bohemia. The latter were mostly ethnic Germans, who identified as German Bohemians, or simply as Bohemians. In many parts of Europe, state citizenship was not identical with ethnicity and language, and the various peoples were usually identified by their language. Ethnic boundaries in Bohemia were not always sharp, and people very often were bilingual. Intermarriages across language borders were also common. Native Czech speakers nearly often spoke German, and many native German speakers spoke Czech with varying fluency, particularly in areas with many Czech speakers. Currently, the word Bohemians is sometimes used when speaking about persons from Bohemia of all ethnic origins, especially before the year 1918, when the Kingdom of Bohemia ceased to exist. It is also used to distinguish between inhabitants of the western part of the state, and the eastern or northeastern parts. The term Bohemianism, as associated with social unconventionality, comes from the French Bohemian. This referred to gypsy, because Romany people were thought to come from Bohemia, or because they perhaps entered the West through Bohemia.